Welcome, everybody. I'm Dave Etkin. Thanks for joining us for another Toolkit Tuesday. I'm here with Janet, as always. Hey, Janet.
Good afternoon.
We have a great guest today, Heather Hukari. Hello, Heather.
Hi.
And just to make sure, as always, that you guys can hear us and see us well, if you wouldn't just mind looking at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a toolbar down there. If you don't, take your cursor and hover at the bottom of the screen. It should pop up. There you'll see the chat feature. If you just click on that button there and then just type in your name and say hello, tell us where you're joining us from. That way we'll know that you can hear what I'm saying, then you see us good. We just want to get through all the tech issues here right off the bat. So good afternoon. It's also a lot of fun for me to see where everybody is joining from. We get people from all over the place joining. There's Kevin in Cincinnati and Lexington. Drew from Louisville, Diana from Mobile, Alabama. Hello, Diana. Owensboro, Rachel in LaGrange. Hey, Rachel, I was just there the other day. Love the town. Best coffee shop in town there in the downtown LaGrange area. One of my favorites, and I'm a coffee aficionado. Jessica from Georgetown. So we got a big group today. So while we let everybody join in, I just want to say that again, introduce myself. I'm Dave Etkin. I'm the director here at the Louisville Small Business Development Center. We're one of 13 centers across the state of Kentucky, serving you with free resources. And we're just here to help you guys grow your business and do the best we can for you. So, every business struggles with sales and reaching their customers, and the business climate now evolves quickly, and what worked a few years ago doesn't work today. But the social media climate has drastically changed, and one of the best ways to reach your customers is Instagram. And there's a lot of ways to do that, and one of the best ways is putting together video reels and using the reel feature in Instagram. So we thought it'd be great to have Heather on, who is an Instagram expert and marketing expert as well, come on board and give us some insight on how to do that step by step. And so welcome, Heather.
Thanks.
And I'm going to turn it right over to you. Let's just jump right in and get started. It's going to be a great session today.
Okay, let's do that. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, hold on one second. Share.
Also, I just want to say, as we go through the presentation, if you have any questions or comments for Heather, this is a great time to really have an expert in front of you and pick their brain. So make sure you have some questions here. We'll do those at the end. I'll kind of put them in the chat, and then I'll ask Heather the questions as we go on. But do that, get your questions answered. This is a great way to get some good info for your business, where we can get off this video and start making some good reels. So Heather.
Okay, yeah, so today I'm talking all about video, and specifically video via Instagram Reels. So let's dive in, because I have a lot of info I'm going to try to get through for you guys. So take your notes, have your phone out, because we're going to actually get in and make a reel near the end of this presentation. So get ready. Okay, so let's just quickly talk about why video is such a big thing, because I think that it is, but why? How did we get to this point where everybody's expected to be a content creator along with whatever it is that you are a subject matter expert on and the business you run? Well, check out this chart here. As you can see, through the years, videos watched online, hours per week, has increased year by year. And the pandemic really upped our video consumption as well. 68% of consumers in a big survey said that the pandemic impacted the amount of content they watch online, and 96% said that it increased. And, you were there. You probably increased your video consumption as well during 2020, and it's probably stayed pretty high. Be it Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, maybe you watch videos on LinkedIn, I don't know, but there's video everywhere online, and most of us are watching it in some form. And it's a cool thing. So this is kind of how people met pre-pandemic. Face-to-face was really common, and I think we're getting back there now. But what became really common during the pandemic and now post-pandemic is still really common is meeting online, is doing video calls, Zooms like we're doing now, getting one-on-one virtually, having meetings virtually. This is super normal. We're very used to looking at somebody through a screen via video, be that live video or pre-recorded video. This feels just as normal to us as this does these days. So that has only increased the usefulness of video. There are definitely benefits to video in general, and especially right now with video on social and how it can help market you. So I'm just going to quickly go through a few big benefits that you're going to get from using video. The first is that, kind of like I was saying, it's a face-to-face connection, even if it's through a screen. People can see your face if you're putting yourself on video. And that is a good thing. People want to see your face. They want to see you. They want to get to know you. When we were babies, we loved faces. If you've ever had a baby, this is my son when he was little, babies just love faces. They see a face, they lock in on it, and just, they just stare. You learn eventually not to stare anymore, but initially you don't care, right? And it makes sense because we learn about the world through faces, through expression. We learn language by watching people talk along with listening to them, right? So we're learning a lot by seeing a face, and we're also really comforted by being face to face with somebody. That does not go away. We have this primal part of our brain that still feels really connected and good and comfortable and safe when we're face to face with somebody, when we're making eye contact. So video can really emulate that face to face connection that we want deep down inside of us, just as a human being. It also can really build the know, like, and trust factor, which, if you've been in the business world and the marketing world for even a little bit of time these days, you've probably heard this phrase, building the know, like, and trust factor. These are things people want from you if they want to buy from you or work with you. If you're a product or service provider, people these days want to know. They want to know you. They want to like you. They want to trust you. They don't want to buy from just some obscure face behind a brand that they'd have no idea who the person is, And video can really build those things. It can be a great connector. This is a great quote from PageWiz that I love. It says, video creates the opportunity for a degree of genuine human engagement between the landing page visitor, this could also be the scroller, and the message, which is a critical step in building trust. We want to trust people that we buy from. Forbes says that video is one of the best ways to connect emotionally with the customer. And if you're like me, you're probably an emotional buyer, right? In some ways. So this is all good stuff, and video is going to build all that credibility for you that people need and want before they just up and buy something from you or work with you. The cool thing about video too is that social media has popularized it so much. It has made user-generated videos such a common thing. Back in the day, I've been in video for over 20 years as a career, and I've seen so many changes in the industry. And, for the longest time, if you were going to make a video, it had to be a big professional thing. You had to pay a lot of money. Professionals came, shot it for you, edited for you, helped you script it, everything, right? And it was a big deal. Nowadays, literally anyone can make video. You just need a phone, right? And it's really cool because it's just really opened up a lot of possibilities for anyone to do these things that professionals were the only people that could do for a long time, right? It was either like home videos or professional videos. And now there's a great in between where anyone can make videos and post them and get some, some recognition, some reach from those videos. Instagram, in 2020, 3.6 billion people were on social media, not just Instagram, social media worldwide. And that's projected to increase to 4.4 billion in the next couple of years. So that is a lot of people online, right? And as a business owner, marketing yourself, don't you want to get in front of some of these people, right? Not all of them, obviously, but it's a lot of people that are out there looking at social media every day. Instagram particularly is really great for business growth right now. It has changed from a personal photo sharing platform to much more of a platform for businesses. Honestly, that is what it's kind of built for these days. Over 2 billion people are on it. And I think this is a little bit old, that stat, so it's probably more now. And 83% of consumers in a large survey said that they use it to discover new products and services. And if you're on Instagram at all, if you're scrolling at all, you're probably also finding services and products and, likely purchasing some stuff from Instagram. So it's a really, really good business tool, and it's free to use. I mean, you can pay for ads on it, but there's a lot of things you can do for free. You just spend a little bit of time on it, but there you go. It can be really great advertising and marketing for you. All right, so what is really great right now, and what we're going to talk about today on Instagram, is short form vertical videos, reels, okay? Reels. If you've not been on Instagram and seen reels, just get on Instagram and scroll reels for a little bit so you know what I'm talking about, but likely you've seen it. By short form, I mean under a minute. This is not a requirement. Reels can be longer than this, but what is working better for people is shorter form video on Instagram right now. It's interesting. TikTok is sort of moving to longer form, short form. So more like 2-3 minute videos are doing really well on TikTok, but Instagram is still, you're going to get a little bit better reach if they're shorter videos. So even a minute is a little long, but it can be up to a minute. It can be a little bit more as long as it's kind of carrying itself. People have short attention spans, so keeping it short really helps. So you know, your attention span is probably short too these days. You want these videos to be vertical. And by vertical, I mean your phone is going to be held upward, not horizontally. And the reason that is because you want to really fill the screen with the video. It's a much better user experience, the person watching it, if the video fills the entire screen versus having it little in the middle, which is what happens if you post a horizontal video. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. On my profile, I posted a horizontal video. You see the big black bars on the top and bottom. And you know, it's not like the video is ruined, right? But if I make something specifically for Instagram,
I have rapped in a program. I did a Weird Weekends episode about rap.
Can you remember any of those? It's a lot better viewing experience for the person watching it, right? And that first video I didn't make for Instagram specifically. I just made it for my parents. You know, it was like a gift and it's about my son and their relationship. So I wanted to post it. So you can still post horizontal videos, but just know it's going to be a lot better if it's vertical. So if you're posting something, making a reel specifically, definitely get used to holding your phone vertically. Okay, so that is short form vertical videos. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about reels and what they are and what they're good for and all of that kind of stuff. So on your Instagram profile, on anyone's Instagram profile, if you click this little button right here, this is just the reels page. So here is the feed where you see all their posts. You know, it could be static posts, carousels, videos, but here's where you would just see reels, just so you know, that's where they live if you're ever on anyone's profile. And also what's cool on this screen versus your feed, you can see the views that each reel has gotten, which is just kind of interesting feedback. You know, if you're curious what you're getting, you know, you can look at it right there. So the cool thing about reels is that an algorithm sends them out to people that do not know you at all. Okay. Versus something you post just to your feed, like a static shot, anything you post to your stories, which is those bubbles on top that disappear in 24 hours. You can post videos there. You can post pictures there, text, anything like that. Only your followers are going to see your stories. They're not like pushed out to new people. Reels though are, and in that way, it's sort of like free advertising for you. This algorithm is going to say, okay, based on this video and the keywords in this video and what this video is about, I'm going to push it out to certain people that I think are interested in this topic. So that's really great for you to get in front of new eyeballs. With your reels, you want to really think about targeting your ideal audience. You know, who are the people that you want to work with that care about your expertise? Make content for them. Okay. So for me, my entire brand is social video. So everything I make, almost like 95% of reels I make are about video, you know, and you can see here on my titles, direct to camera video must. That's a series I was doing. When you make a reel and has a great, you know, everything's about video because I want to draw people in that want to know more about video. I occasionally post like reels about my son, but I probably shouldn't. He's just so cute and I love making videos about him. But that probably kind of confuses the algorithm, confuses people. So ideally, you want to be really topical with your reels. If you want to do kind of off-topic stuff, more like get to know me content, that stuff can go in your stories. That's more where it should live because that's going to target people that already follow you and you're just building the know, like, and trust factor with in your stories versus this could be the first exposure people get to you is through your reels. So staying on topic, your goal is to gain followers and leads. So you want to draw in people that are interested in what you're offering ideally with your reels. So again, stay very topical with it. And Reels can either be using trending audio, which I'll show you some examples if you don't know what that means, or they can be original. It can just be you and your voice on camera. Doesn't have to have a sound or a song or anything. And that's what we're going to actually make today at the end of this workshop. So, but I'll show you examples of both so that you understand what they are and the benefits of using both types of content. Okay, so let's talk about how you can make scroll stopping video. Because the thing is, with social media, people are scrolling, right? Scroll, scroll, scroll. If they don't really like what they're seeing, or you're not like getting them in right away, they're going to scroll past you. So there are some things you can do to try to get more buy-in, to get more watch time, to get people through your videos. So we'll go over some of those things. The goal with all of your videos, every reel you make, should do one of the following things, one of the following 4 things. It should either educate your target audience, it can entertain them, that's always a good thing, inspire them, or be relatable to them, okay? And we're gonna look at examples to show you kind of some of these things through Reels. A good formula, actually, let me go back there. If you get, oops, sorry. Oh no, I went back too far. Okay, hold on. In case you guys are taking notes, I just want you to write all these down. So your goal, educate, entertain, inspire, or be relatable. Okay, so a good formula for a reel, for any reel, original or trending, is the following. These 3 things. Hook, you're going to hook them in. You're going to give the value, that part of the video, and then you're going to end with a call to action, or a CTA, is what it's called. 3 simple steps there. Hook, value, CTA. Hook, value, CTA. And we're going to go through each one of these 3 so I can expand on it a little bit. The first one is the hook. This is simply the first 3 to 5 seconds of your video. You want to state really clearly what the video is about. It can be in a graphic form or auditory or both, but you want to be really clear upfront. This is what the video is. It doesn't have to be like a super clever, well thought out hook, you know. I mean, it can be, but you don't have to spend a ton of time trying to think of the exact right hook that's going to, like, you know, be the most amazing thing you've ever written. It can really simply just be what the video is about. You just want people to know right away. You don't want to take time getting into the reel. You don't want to say, hey, happy Tuesday. This is Heather with Social Video 101. Today I'm going to talk about, that's too long. You want your hook to be like the top 5 things you need to know to make your videos work today. That's 3 seconds. It's telling them what they need to know. And then you jump into the value after that. So always a hook. Jump in, don't introduce yourself, just boom, hook. And then for the value part, this can vary in length, but this is the part where you give the value. So if it's an original reel of you talking to the camera, talking about whatever topic it is that you're an expert on, that people are going to want to know something about, it can be any length, but you just want to do it pretty quickly. So how concise can you be, but still give the value that you want to give? Okay. You can use graphics and captions throughout to keep people entertained, and just keep them visually interested. Because if it's just you talking and there's nothing else to look at, or nothing is changing, even if it's a great topic that you're talking about, that can turn people off, because we're used to being entertained. We're used to things happening in videos. So we'll get to some examples of that, but you do want to keep it visually pleasing as much as you can. And then finally, at the end, you do want to give a call to action. This can be really short. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but you want to just tell them what to do. It can be as simple as follow for more tips if you gave a tip. Comment a smiley face if you agree. Double tap if you like this, because that gives you a like, which is good engagement for Instagram, for the algorithm to see. Save this video for reference, also good for the algorithm if people are saving your videos. DM me for the link. That means direct message. You know, let's say you talked about a product that you like using or something. Hey, DM me for the link, because you can't put links in the reel anywhere in the text or anything. So they would have to message you. And if you get people in your messages, that's great, because that's a direct connection to them, and you can have more of a conversation, or they can ask you questions, and you're, you know, building some know, like, and trust by getting them in your DM. So that's good. So it's always good just to have a simple call to action. So that they don't just watch and be like, okay, cool, scroll by, you know. It's like, give them something to think about to do after they watch your reel. Okay, so let's look at some real examples that I have pulled from Instagram. And as you watch these, I want you to think about, what is she doing here? Is she educating, entertaining, inspiring, being relatable? It can also be all of those or a couple of those. It doesn't just have to be one. And then also at the same time, think about the formula: hook, value, call to action.
Want to know the secret to getting good engagement? It's all about adding value to your posts. But how do you even add value? It's easy. You just have to stick to the main three: educate, entertain, or inspire. Easy as that. Make sure to save this reel in case you ever need a reminder.
All right. So normally if I'm teaching live, I'll be like, tell me what you saw. But since this is virtual, we don't have to do that. That may be a little clunky, but she definitely educated. She was relatable because at the beginning she was like, oh, like, oh, this is hard. I don't understand. That's something people can relate to. Somebody that is her target audience that maybe doesn't know Instagram that well, she's being relatable to them. And then for the formula, she did have a hook. She gave the value, and then her call to action: save this reel for later. Just that simply, it's just a second or two call to action. Great. I think it's a great reel. She kept it visually interesting because she was sort of changing the setup a little bit, the camera. There were some captions, some graphics, pretty simple, but all of those things make for a reel that's good. It's valuable. It's easy to watch. And, she probably got some followers from that reel. I don't know her personally. This is like literally just stuff I saw and I pulled. Let me show you one of mine here. And I want you to think about educate, entertain, inspire, be relatable, and look for the formula as well.
If you're scared to present in front of people or on camera, I've got some quick tips for you. First of all, you want to know your presentation really well so that you can confidently give it. If you can, show up early and just talk to some of the audience members first so you can see that they're just real people and not scary monsters. And finally, before you start, just jump around a little bit, move your arms, shake everything out to get rid of some of that nervous energy and bring excitement in. Like this. Leave your best tips in the comments so everybody else can learn from you too.
Okay, so I think I definitely educated. That was the goal with the tips. Here's 3 tips. Hopefully entertained. I tried to. It was at a live, I shot it at a live conference, so I was trying to get the crowd involved a little bit. And then definitely followed the formula, and the call to action was leave a comment with some of your tips too. And that's just to try to build engagement, get people, engaging with your reel, which is always a good thing. Let's see. Okay, so those are both original. That was just talking on camera, right? Let's look at a trending. So a trending reel is taking an audio that's popular. It can be a clip of a song, which is what this one is. It can also be like a clip of somebody saying something that people have used over and over. And the thing is, with them being trending, people do use that audio over and over and kind of do the same thing even, but make the video their own or related to their niche, okay? So let's look at this, guys. It's really quick. Trending ones are usually short, which is good because you can get more watch time if they're short. So we'll watch this a couple times because it's pretty fast. But first, I want you to think about this side. Okay, what is he doing here?
Who invited you guys?
Okay, so he kind of did everything, honestly. He educated just with graphics, he was relatable because the top graphic was, I'm not a runner because, and then it had some like myths. So people are like, I'm not a runner, but it's like, oh, but this, and he like hit them away, like, no way, bye. These are myths. So kind of inspiring, like you can get over these things, kind of entertaining. So he did a great job. And then let's watch it one more time. And I want you to think about hook, value, call to action.
Who invited you guys?
He nailed it. The hook is that top graphic. I'm not a runner because that's it. It's clear what the reel is about just from that. The value was busting away those myths. And then the call to action right here, just this graphic, read caption. That can be your call to action, because down here in this caption, if I were to click these dots right here, it would expand, and he's written out the myths, he's talked more about them. So cool thing with trending audios, they're really short, but in that caption below, you can add a lot more context. You could like put a whole blog there if you wanted. I don't know if everybody would read that. You want to stay kind of concise, but you really can give a lot more value in that caption there. So that's a great one. I mean, it took him 15 minutes to make, probably, it's one shot. He had to add the graphics, but once you know how to do that, it goes pretty fast. So these don't have to be like a big time suck. Reels, they can be really quickly made. Like when we make one today, it's hopefully going to take just 10 minutes or less. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting in there, learning how to do it, and then doing it consistently. Let's look at one more example, another one of mine. It's trending. So I want to show you another trending example.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
Okay, the thing with this one too is also a transition. You see how I changed clothes? It was in the same position. That's kind of a popular way to do reels. Looks really fancy. It's not difficult to do. It's just a matter of learning how to do it, and then you can do it. But again, trending, it was like 5 seconds, super fast. This little arrow here is the call to action. It's like, learn more, basically, like follow me. If you just put an arrow to your name or to your caption, that can be your call to action. It can be that simple. Okay, moving on, let's talk about editing. What is popular right now with editing on social media for Reels specifically? First thing, moving fast, right? Again, people short attention spans, they need to be entertained. So you want to move pretty quickly with your cuts so that people will watch the whole thing. Let's look at some examples, or an example here of a fast moving video. Oh no, sorry, this slide is not supposed to be there. I thought it.
Holiday gift ideas under $10. These watch charms come in a variety of designs, and they are the perfect way to upgrade your watch bands. This best-selling rechargeable plasma lighter is equivalent to 300 butane lighters and is great for outdoors and inside the home. This makeup brush set is perfect for travel. It has a blush brush, eye brushes, and lip brushes. These playing cards are a bestseller, and they are the perfect stocking stuffer. They are waterproof.
Okay, so you are likely not selling multiple products necessarily, but I just wanted to show you that because see how fast it moved. There's a lot of footage. She's describing what you're seeing in a voiceover. That takes a little bit more work to shoot and edit for sure, but it keeps your attention, right? Because it's moving fast. You're seeing visuals that support what she's saying. I actually bought a couple of things from that video. So that's good. People like watching videos that are moving pretty quickly. Tight cuts. If you are talking on camera, if it's an original reel, you want to try to cut out all pauses and breaths. In real life or on a live video like this, if I like pause for a second and breathe or say, and then it's not that big of a deal because we're used to that in real life, having those natural pauses in conversation, the having to stop to think for a second, but on video, people don't want to give you the time to do that. They don't want to watch you pause or breathe or say, definitely. So you want to try to cut all those out. And what's popular right now is just jump cuts. It's literally just shooting the whole video right here. If I was talking blah, 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 and then editing, cutting out every pause. So let me show you an example.
If you're afraid to get on video and talk about something because you're afraid people aren't gonna want to hear from you, this message is for you. You are an authority. You're an authority on some subject, some topic, the thing you know most about. You definitely know more about that than other people. Therefore, other people that don't know as much as you are gonna wanna learn from you because you are that authority. You don't have to know absolutely every.
Okay, so you get the idea. I'm in the same place and I just, in post-production, in editing, cut out my breaths, cut out my pauses, which were definitely there. But you just, in the final video, they're not there. So that's one way to do it, is to cut after the fact. Another way to do it is to just shoot every line in a different setup. So I would hit record, say the line I'm going to say, hit record to stop it, move, say the next line. And then you don't really have to do a lot of editing after the fact because you're kind of editing as you go. And that also keeps people entertained because the background is changing. And something about that is kind of exciting to watch. So let me show you an example of that.
We need to start looking at Instagram differently. When I host a workshop or work with a client, I hear this every single time. Shannon and I have really been overcomplicating this. And it's because I tell them this. Instead of an app, I want you to think of your Instagram profile as a physical store that someone could walk into. Your bio is your signage, it's your billboard, it tells people what's inside. And your grid is your storefront, it's the window, so people can get what the vibe is like, who's inside, and what they can buy. And your
Okay, so you guys get the point of that. It does kind of keep you engaged, right? It's like that slight change is nice. And like every graphic, every sentence is just the shot that she's doing, and then it switches. And the cool thing about shooting that way, not only do you not have to edit a lot afterwards, but you don't have to memorize a lot either. You can memorize if you have something kind of written out to say, to keep it concise, because that is a good idea. You can just memorize line by line, say the line, okay, stop. Okay, what's my next line? La, la, la. Okay, I'm ready, record, say the line, stop. So it kind of makes it easier for yourself than trying to sit there and like say a whole thing in one take, right? You can overdo the edits like that though. Let me show you this reel that I think is too cut, right? There's too many changes going on.
We're going to start a podcast coaching real people with real challenges that you know how to solve. You can ask your existing clients to join you, or you can offer these coaching sessions to potential clients at a discounted rate and promote this offer to your audience as a limited time offer, and then convert them
Okay,
into...
I can't finish it. His account's really great, but that reel though, right? That was too many cuts. That was like every few words, and it wasn't enough of a change. It was just like a slight body shift. So you want more kind of a drastic change, or you just want to be in the same place and do jump cuts to make it feel smoother, because it's just hard even to know what he's saying because it's like too jumpy, right? Okay, so don't overdo it with your edits. Another good idea is to use a teleprompter. This is what a teleprompter looks like, a teleprompter app. It simply scrolls your script near the lens and you just read it. So it looks like you're looking in the lens, you're just reading your script, and then boom, there's your video. So that if you're kind of nervous to just talk on camera off the cuff, or you think you're going to get rambly or not be able to remember what you want to say, teleprompter is great. You just put it in there. You have to pick a speed, so you need to play with it a little bit. But once you have that down, I use it a lot to keep me on topic so that I don't get rambly, because I do that. Here's an example of someone on TikTok who definitely uses a teleprompter.
5 more myths about successful relationships. 1, you can count on each other for everything. Nope. It's perfectly healthy to count on other people for important needs outside the relationship. In fact, I recommend it. Create a large and supportive community so you have multiple people to lean on. 2, they have secure attachments. People with all sorts of attachments.
See how he is not pausing, he's not breathing, he's not saying if he had just memorized all that, I'm sure there would be some pausing and oh, what's number 2, and a lot of people say not, it just happens. None of that there. So I'm pretty sure he just loads his scripts and reads very smoothly, and he makes a ton of video, so that looks great. Okay, so that's kind of what is popular right now with editing. Ways that you can edit if you're like, what the heck is video editing? I don't know, am I supposed to know how to do that? Well, it's getting easier and easier to do it. You can edit in an app on your phone. CapCut is the one I teach in my course and the one that I use when I'm editing on my phone. But there's a ton of other ones. There's Splice, KineMaster, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. The CapCut is good and it's really cheap. There's a free option too. You can edit on your computer. There are some programs like Filmora is a free one, I believe. Canva, if you use Canva already for graphics and stuff, they also are upping their video editing tools quite a bit. So you can edit in there. CapCut has a desktop program, which is nice because if you learn how to use the mobile, you can also use the desktop one pretty easily. So very accessible. You can also edit directly into Reels, which when we make our Reel in a few minutes, that's what I'm going to do. So you can get a feel for that. And then at the bare minimum, you need to know how to trim in your Photos app. That is, it's just trimming. It's not really editing, but it's like the most basic form of editing. I'm going to play you a video that shows you how to do that so that you understand what I mean by trimming.
So I'm going to show you just the basics of editing so that you can trim at the beginning and end of your clip before you post it anywhere. So you're going to go into your Photos app, find the clip you want to edit. Simon here takes a pause there at the beginning. And I want to trim that off because I want it to start with just him talking right away. So I'm going to go to edit at the top. And then if I just drag this bar here, you see these 2 little arrows at the beginning and end. that bar turns yellow, and that means it's in trim mode, so it'll trim your clip. So I can slowly drag this and watch kind of, okay, that's where he starts talking. So I'm gonna back it up a little. I can hit play to preview.
Hi, my name is Simon Sweet.
Okay, that's good. And then the end, he also has some extra space there where he turns off the camera. So I can again drag slowly, look for his last word. He ends on a smile, which is great. There we go. All right, and then you can use this little white playhead to preview just a certain part of the clip.
The skills, the confidence, and everything you get from taking the course. So highly recommended.
Great, that's exactly what I want. I'm gonna hit done. And you can either save video as a new clip, or if you wanna just save over this version, you hit save video. I'm gonna just save the video because I don't need the part of him turning the camera on and off at the beginning and end. Okay, so that is the basics of editing, right? Just trim off if you're doing this, which you have to do that, right? To record, you need to trim that off. Do not post that. Do not post a reel with this. That's not going to make you look professional or good at all. Okay, so very quickly, and then we're going to make a reel, I promise. Content, where are you going to get your video content? If you're like, okay, cool, I understand the value of making reels. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know. Okay, very quickly, your expertise. Just spend like half an hour brainstorming on everything you know about your niche, right? Let's say you're a physical therapist. You probably know a lot of stuff about physical therapy, rehab on different parts of the body. Just write all that out and see how many things you can come up with. Answerthepublic.com is a website that is awesome. This is what it looks like. You can type in a search term here, real estate. Let's say you're a realtor. You do have to sign up. You have to have an account, but it can be a free account. So I'm searching real estate. This is going to tell me what people are searching the term real estate with on Google right now. So you can look at a visual representation or make it like this. And it just tells you people are actually searching for these exact phrases. So if you're a real estate agent, you can answer some of these. Are real estate prices dropping? Will real estate prices go down in 2023? Can you talk about that? If so, this is what people want to know. So that is a great way to get content if you're not sure what to talk about. You can also just follow other people in your space and see what they're talking about and see what's working for them. If you're a real estate agent, here's a guy that's a real estate agent. He has over 13,000 followers.
A realtor represent both a buyer and a seller in the same transaction. Some buyers in particular will employ the strategy where they reach out specifically to listing agents on homes that they're interested in.
You can just see what he's doing. He's doing some original
If you'll be the cash, I'll be the rubber band.
Home hack.
Okay. If you'll be the cash,
I'll be the rubber band, you'll be the match, I will be a fuse, boom.
Right? So you can get ideas from other people that are successful in your space. You don't have to copy them word for word. I'd recommend not doing that, but just see what they're talking about. What reels have worked for him. Go to his reels page here, which I'm not on, I'm just on his feed, but see which reels have a lot of views, that have a lot of engagement, and see if you can make something similar that might be popular. Make it your own, make it like relevant to your area or your expertise, but that's a great thing to do. Follow some people in your niche. Again, remember your content, your goal is to attract ideal clients. So what do people want to know? What do people want to see? How can you be relatable to them, right? That's your goal with your content. Okay, so let's make a reel. But before we do that, I would want you to know I have a course that teaches everything about social video, how to make it, all the stuff, the setup, the things you need, which is not a lot of things, honestly, how to edit, all of this stuff. It's all here, Social Video 101. These are the modules, everything we cover, even being on camera if you're hesitant with that, which a lot of people are, but lots of stuff there. It is $4.97. And if you guys being part of this workshop, you get a free Zoom session with me at any point during the course if you take it. So we can cover anything you need to cover at all. I love talking to people and helping them out with video. So if you're interested, check me out there. You can also follow me on Instagram, DM me there if you have any questions, want to get into conversation. Social Video 101 is my handle. Okay, I'm going to stop my share and then restart it so we can see my phone, and we're going to make a reel. So give me just a minute here. Let's do. Okay,
this is my phone. I see some of you guys are following me on Instagram right now. Thank you. That's very exciting. Okay, so here we are on Instagram. Yay. We'll see how fast we can make this reel. So these top bubbles, just if you don't know, these are stories, right? You can tap through here and see what people are doing with stories. Again, if you're on someone's profile, this is where you would go to look at their reels. If you ever want to like binge somebody's content, here it is on the reels there. If you want to make a reel, which is what we're going to do now, there's a couple ways to get there. The easiest way is to push this plus button down here. And this takes you to your camera roll here, right? That's what you see. That's my son putting on a jacket today. He's so cute. But see how down here it says post? If I were to pick something from my reel here, or from my photos, it would post it on my feed. If I go here, it's going to go to the story layout and I can make a story. But what we want to do is go down here to where it says reel, and then we're on the reel editor. So this is what it looks like. Let's just go through some of these features quickly. Audio, if you click this music button, you'll get to Instagram's music. So you can search through here if you want to like sample some audio. You don't have to pick it out ahead of time, but you can though, too. This little button here is effects. If you want to add effects, this is where they are. Like here, the first one that it suggests is green screen. You probably have seen reels like this where you can put something behind you and talk about it. So we're not going to do that though right now. This arrow goes, let's just not even worry about that. You probably aren't going to use this feature, so don't worry about it. This right here is your timer. So this is, reels can be up to 90 seconds currently, but you can set your length to 15, 30, 60, or 90. I leave mine on 90 because if my reel is shorter than that, it's not going to keep going for 90 seconds. It just stops at the point where I stop. So, but if I have it set to 15 seconds, but I'm talking for 30 seconds, it cuts me off. So it doesn't really make sense to change it. So just leave it on 90. This one time is speed. So you can make your reel faster or slower, which is useful in some instances, but we went into that today. This is a layout button. So if I want to do like a split screen, I could do that. We're not going to do that either. Timer, we will use very soon. So what I'm going to do for this reel is simply, it's going to be a 2-shot reel. So it's going to be very full. It's going to be original, but it's going to be a really short one. I wrote a script out here. I know you can't read my writing, but basically when I'm ready, I'm just going to hit the record button and look right at the camera, not at myself on the screen, but at the lens, because that is what emulates eye contact with the people watching it. And frame myself a little bit better here. I want to fill the screen really nicely. I have a little bit of light behind me. I have a ring light behind me, so I look decent on camera, which is good. If you're showing your face to look decent. Now, if I just hit this button, it's going to start recording right away. So, oh, it's recording. Oh, let me do the thing now. I don't like doing that. That's why you want to set a timer first so that you give yourself like a couple seconds to get into position. So I'm going to hit the timer and you can set it for 3 seconds or 10 seconds by simply touching this button right here. So I'm going to set it for 3. And now when I hit the button, it's going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to start recording. Okay, so let me see what I'm going to say here real quick. The number one thing you need for your videos to be successful on social media is, okay, that's my line. I'm going to hit the button and say it. The number one thing you need for your videos to be successful on social media is, and then when I'm done, I'm going to hit this button again to stop it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my next clip, and then we're going to edit these. Okay, so I'm just recording the clips, and then we'll get into trimming them up so that they look better. So I'm going to change my setup just slightly. It's just going to be like this. And I'm going to turn and say my second line, my last line, which is super short. I'm going to set the timer again, because if I don't, it'll just start recording immediately again. So you have to set it every time if you're using it. So hit that, 3 seconds. And my next line is, successful on social media is to make them, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to hit it. To make them. And then I'm done. So I'm going to hit stop. And then I'll bring the phone back over here. Okay, so I'm ready to edit those together. I'm going to hit next. So, oh, it's recording. Oh, let me do the thing now. Okay,
I don't like doing
so that's
that.
the clip I want to
Set a
delete. I'm going to
timer.
hit edit
The
clips
number
down here.
one thing you need for your videos to be successful.
And you'll see
on
there's
social
3 clips
media
there.
is-
That first one was the one I was just doing, you know, to show you what happens. So I'm going to select that and hit delete down here, and that will take it away. And this clip, I'm going to watch it by hitting the play button.
On social media is.
Okay, I want to trim it. So I'm going to, from here with my thumb, I'm pulling this back to right after I stop talking. Is.
The number one thing you need for your videos to be successful on social media is.
Okay, and then I'm going to hit all
number one
clips.
thing you need for your videos to be
Go to my
successful
second one.
to make them.
Let's watch this. Play.
To make them.
Okay, I'm going to cut that off right after I make that face. Hit all clips. I'm going to hit done.
To make
All right,
them.
and that's the reel,
Number
right?
one thing you need for your.
So now I'm going to add graphics real quickly here because I always have graphics captions, one or the other or both. So to add a graphic, you're going to hit this A button in the top, and I'm just going to write simply my hook is number one thing for successful videos, and kind of line that up. Here you can change the color. If you come here, you've got some options to change the color of your graphic. I like to do it pretty basic. You can also change the orientation and do it centered or left or right alignment. Once you're done, you can drag this around the screen. I'm just gonna put it here. And I'm going to leave it up the whole time. If I wanted to only have it up for a little bit, I would hit this little bubble down here and see how I now have like a trimming option. I could cut that off. Actually, I won't leave. I'll make a second graphic. So I'm going to cut it off at the end of this clip, hit done. And then to make a second graphic, I'm going to hit the A button again and I'm going to do all caps to make them. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to line these up so it kind of replaces it. Now you see I have another bubble here. So I'm going to select that bubble. Again, I get a trimming option. I'm going to pull from the front because I want this to come up at the end. Okay. So let's watch this. Done.
Make them.
Done.
The number one thing you need for your videos to be successful on social media is to make them.
And I can kind of go in here and try to adjust that a little bit better. Maybe I won't bring it up until I say it. And then here, come back a little. Okay. And then if I want to add music now, see how I have music note up here? I could do just a little background music. So if you come here, it shows you just some stuff that's popular right now. If you have any music saved, it would be up your saved folder. I will just pick one of the songs that's down here. Great, I'm going to select it, hit done, and it's too loud, right? So I'm going to adjust the volume by hitting the music button again, go to controls here, and I'm going to turn it down and turn me up.
To make them. The number one thing.
Okay, so music in
social media.
The other thing that I'm not going to add to this reel, but you might want to add to your original reels is captions. So if you hit this little sticker button and search for captions, for some reason that didn't come up. It's right here though. See, it says captions there. If you hit that, it auto transcribes your video. So it will transcribe what you say and put the captions on screen for you. You have some options down here for how they look. So, you know, let's just see what this one looks like. You can drag them around the screen with your finger. Let's hit done, done. Done. Okay. But since I don't want them on there, because I don't say enough to have captions, because I pretty much put my captions in the graphics. So if I don't want that, I'm gonna grab it with my finger and put it in the trash can down here. Okay. And that's pretty much it. I hit next. This is before you post it, you have some options here. You can edit your cover. So if I hit this button right here on my face, it gives me a timeline down here where I can pick the cover frame. This is what's going to be sitting on your profile for people to see. So you want to make a decent cover. It's good to have your hook in the cover so people know what the video is about if they're on your page and they're trying to decide what to watch. And then it's kind of hard because as you're talking, you don't always make normal faces. So I just try to pick one that, like, I don't know, looks okay. You can also add from your camera roll. So if you made a cover in Canva or something, that's where you would add that. If you hit profile grid up here, you can drag your little thumbnail around because this is what it'll look like on your feed. Because your feed is square, your reels are vertical. That's kind of silly. So I always line it up where the graphic is fully seen in my profile grid. So I'm going to hit done. And then this is where I would write a caption. You know, a lot of times with this caption, I already have it written in my notes on my phone, and I can just copy and paste it. That way I don't have to like sit here and spend time doing it. So let's say I have a caption there. I'll just write it later. And then down here, you've got some other options. I don't really change much here. You can add a location if you want, if your business is very local. If you're kind of global or national, I wouldn't add a location. And that's pretty much it. After you have the caption, I would hit share. It would go to my profile. Since I don't have a caption yet, I'm not going to. I'm just going to hit save as draft. So next time I come into my reels, that'll be there. If I come down here, here to this little plus sign, this will go to my photo roll on my phone, my camera roll, and my draft will be in there. So I can just hit that, and then it's back on the screen. I can select it, and then I'm back where I left off. I can go back and edit the video, or I could just post right from the screen too. So for now, number one thing you need for your videos to be successful on social media is to make them. Okay. The number one. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my best reel, but you know, it's fine. I mean, I definitely will post it later. So, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and we will take some questions. I know that we are close to time here. Stop share. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Heather. That was awesome. That's a lot.
It was a lot. I know it was a lot. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, if you take my course, if you hop in there, it's a lot more, a lot slower, a lot very self-paced, so that if you missed a lot of stuff here, it's a lot easier to ingest that way.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of folks thought it was great, and but you know, you're going so fast, you know, they were like, ugh. So we just said we're going to share the recording later on. So you put the slides and everything in the recording, so you can jump on there, and also you can reach out to Heather directly. First off, Steve wants to remind us of what was the name of the tool that you were talking about that tells people what people are looking for.
Answerthepublic.com. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you. Diana wants to know, are the reels we see on Facebook from Instagram, or are they separate? I've been reading quite a bit about this crossover.
So it's kind of interesting. You can do them separately. You can similar features in Facebook to post reels. So they have their own editor, and you can record straight into Facebook, all of that stuff. If you post on Instagram, like, I don't know if you saw, there was an option that said share on Facebook. If you have that selected, it will share. But from what I understand, if you use a trending audio from Instagram, it will not share to Facebook, which is confusing because it's the same company. So I don't understand what rights they have where if there is an audio from Instagram that it can't go to Facebook too. But if it's just original and you didn't have any music in it from Instagram, then I'm quite quite certain it also will share to Facebook as well if you have that linked up and you have that option selected to share to Facebook.
Okay, thank you. And Heather, would you put your info for your course into the chat for everyone too?
Yes, definitely. And okay.
There we go. Cool. Thanks. And Allison wants to know is how can one add a website to a reel, or can you?
You cannot, unfortunately. So what you have to do is, I mean, you could write in the caption, you can write the URL out, you know, blah, 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 / blah, 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 but they can't click on it. So they'd have to like look at it and copy it like this, which is inconvenient. And I think that Instagram doesn't want to take people off the platform. So they don't want a bunch of links where people are clicking away all the time. So the way to go about that is to have a link in your bio. So everyone's bio, you are able to have a link there. So you can, in your reel, say, you know, if it's something to purchase, you can purchase this at the link in the bio, or more information, link in the bio. And that link could be one link straight to your website, or you could use a service like linktree.com. And that is simply a service, it's free, where you put multiple links. So if people click on that link, you can say, here's the course, here's my calendar, here's this thing to buy, and have separate links there.
Linktree, that's a good tip. Yeah. Can you, you know, you create a reel on Instagram, can you also use it for TikTok?
Yeah, you can. So it's kind of interesting. TikTok and LinkedIn, TikTok and Instagram don't want to see each other's logos. So if you, after you make a reel on Instagram, it will download the reel to your camera roll on your phone, but it'll have the Instagram logo on it. Same thing with TikTok. So a way to avoid that is before you post your reel, there is an option to download it before you post. So that way you can download it and it's clean without the logo. So then you could share it to the other platform, is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to make your videos outside of Reels or TikTok and make it in CapCut or a different app. And then you can do whatever you want with that video and not worry about the watermarks on each one. Plus, a lot of people, like, you notice Instagram has the graphics you can add in Instagram. It has captions you can add in Instagram. The platforms like when you use their own tools. So what I do often, and other people do, is edit a reel, edit a video in CapCut or a different app, don't put any graphics on it, and then upload it into Reels and add your graphics and captions in Reels so that Instagram knows that you're using their tools. And then same thing with TikTok. Upload your video from CapCut or wherever, and then in TikTok, add the graphics and captions there because they look slightly different. And it sounds like a lot of work. I mean, it's a few steps, but once you do it a few times, it's not too tedious. And it does help kind of that reachability on each platform. But it's not like a deal breaker. If you have Instagram graphics and you upload to TikTok, I mean, it's okay. Like, people will still see it and be able to watch it. It's not like it's going to be banned or anything like that.
Yeah, it's good to know.
You're not going to get like kicked off the internet.
Julie wants to know, as a small business owner, is it better to post reels on Instagram as your personal name or your business name?
This is tough. I have trouble with this because I've seen it both ways. I have a personal and a business account, and my personal is private. And I've thought, I don't know. I go back and forth. I think it depends on how much your brand is you too, if that makes sense. If you can incorporate both into one account, I think that's really good. And a lot of people are doing it. Like Brock 11 Johnson is on Instagram. He's an Instagram expert, like for real, legit, knows everything about it. And he very much incorporates his personal and business life. Like, there's no difference. It's kind of like his life is his business kind of thing.
Right.
So that works out really well. I think if your business is really separate from yourself and your life, you know, if I want to post a bunch of pictures of my son, Boston, like, people that are maybe want to work with me don't care that much about him, right? But my friends and family would rather see pictures of my son than me talking about video. So I think that's why I've kept them separate. But I do think in general, if you can incorporate it's good because of that know, like, and trust factor, and people just getting to know you as a person, wanting to work with you, the more they get to know you. So, yeah.
Michaela says, for small businesses, I guess they have wineries, will trending audios work or more whimsical audios?
I would try both. I mean, the cool thing about Reels and Instagram is that you can experiment. I think somebody else said in the comments something about experimenting, which is totally true, because different things work for different people and different businesses. It's not so cookie cutter that like only one way works for everybody kind of a thing. So I would sort of play with that. The benefit of trending audios is that when they start trending, which it's like, if an audio starts getting hundreds of uses and goes up into thousands of uses, that's when it's trending. Once it hits over 10,000 uses ish, it's like kind of going down. It's like overused at that point. So if you catch an audio that's trending when it's early trending, like around 1,000 uses, which you can see if you click on audio, it shows you how many uses there are. That could be really good because those popular trending audios at the beginning get pushed out to a lot of people. So it's kind of like if you can catch a trending at the right time, that's really good just to get more eyeballs on you. But if you're making a reel and it's about your winery and it's very curated and you're showing the scenery and this and that and this and that, and something that's not trending goes with it better and it fits the vibe, then use that, like definitely use that, because that's more you, that's more the scenario, and that's going to attract the right people. Even if it doesn't get as many views as a trending audio might. It's not all about views, it's also like showing yourself, showing people what you're about too.
Julie has a follow-up. She says, if you post reels using your personal name, can you tag your business in the reel?
Yeah, you can. You can even do a collab, like before you post the reel on that screen. One of the options is something like collaborate, and you can choose a different profile. So some people do reels together, and it shows up on both sites. So that's actually, I'd be interested if you experimented with that, Julie, tagging your business. And then for sure and everyone should do this, whether you're posting personal or business, after you post a reel, share it to your stories. So if you post a reel and collab with your business and personal, post it to both stories too. Because a lot of people are more tappers than scrollers. So people that like to tap through stories are going to see stories, and they're not really going to see your feed that much. People that like to scroll are more likely to see your reel by scrolling. But if you share your reel to your story, they'll see like, oh, Julie posted a new reel, and they'll watch it from there. So share it on both stories if you do it that way, and see. I would see like which account gets more views. If you do the collab thing. I actually want to experiment with this myself. I'm like really interested in this now. Because if your business gets, the algorithm pushes it out to a lot more people, that's kind of interesting data for you.
Yeah. A little bit of following again. Drew asks, what grabs a person's attention most, videos or pictures?
I'd say video, just because it's like moving, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, Drew, video is worth like 1,000,000 words because it's a bunch of little bitty pictures. So pictures can be great for certain purposes. Let's say you're showing off a product, or something like that. But if it's a person talking, it's just audio, it's visual, it's more likely to grab attention because there's more stuff going on than just a still image. But that's not to say don't ever use pictures. You can certainly post pictures too. I would do a mix of some videos, some pictures, and just because different people like different things. Like some people might not ever watch a video. They might be like, I don't care. I'm just going to watch Netflix. I don't want to watch social videos. But a lot of other people will, want to tap on a video if they see that it's a person talking.
Yeah. Samantha says, is it better strategically to, let's say I made a reel in Canva, to share after posting to Instagram, or to share both Instagram and Facebook separately? Does it help the algorithm if it's shared versus separate?
I don't know 100% the answer to that, but my hunch is to share it separately, because it's kind of like, even though they're run by the same company, it's sort of the whole like using that platform, it looks good to that platform. So I think if you uploaded something to Facebook versus just sharing it from Instagram, I think Facebook would like it better. But that might be something for you to research on your own. It's probably something for me to research on my own too. But yeah, maybe try it. You could do it one way with one reel, post on Instagram, share to Facebook, see what you get. Then your next reel, do it in 2 different places and see if that gives you more reach.
Here's a good one. BC asks, can you use trending audio for product sales? Where can you find if there are copyright issues for that?
So Instagram has a really big library of music. So if you want to use a particular song in a certain section of the song, you can probably find it on Instagram in that music note, search whatever it is, it's most likely there. So you can certainly get away with using a lot of different music. I would just go from Instagram versus getting a song like from Spotify and ripping it, like screen recording it, and then using that audio is a little bit shadier, I think, than getting it from Instagram. And when you've selected a song in that music note, you can also pick the point of the song you want to use too. It lets you sort of, I didn't show you that, but it toggles along the entire song. So you can use just the part of it that you want to use. So it's actually really nice because you don't have to worry if you pick it from Instagram or TikTok library. I'm assuming Facebook has a library too of its own. You don't have to worry about usage rights and all of that stuff because that can get a little bit convoluted and just not something you really want to deal with.
Yeah. Well, Heather, this has been great. That's all the questions we have and a little bit over our time. Oh, one more popped in from Julie. I guess we'll slip this in. You mentioned that Reels can be shared on Instagram and Facebook stories. Can Reels also be shared to personal and business Facebook pages?
Let's see. I'm not sure. I don't have a lot of experience with Facebook when it comes to Reels because I'm just not on the Facebook these days. So I didn't stay up to date once I got Reels on how it actually works. And I think you have a lot more reach on Instagram anyway with Reels than Facebook currently. That could change, but yeah, I'm not sure. That's something to experiment with, like when you're in the posting function of either see what options you have, or after you post a reel on Facebook, let's say, go to the reel and there'll be some kind of menu there, some kind of probably 3 dots that you click on, and it'll give you options. So maybe one of your options is share to Facebook page, and maybe it'll give you personal or business page as an option. But I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine there's some way to share that to those places.
Sure. All right. Well, Heather, this has been great. I've been on my phone the whole time. Following you. It's been great.
I know. It can be kind of overwhelming. It seems like a lot
it is,
to learn in tools, but I promise once you kind of just learn the basics, it's pretty user friendly. There's just, you get used to it, you learn it, and then it gets easier and easier to just do. Like I went through it really quickly. It's because I made a bunch of reels, so it's, I know where the stuff is. And like, I promise I've worked with people that are like, I don't know how to do anything. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I could do this. And they like consistently start posting. So it's really cool. It's doable for anyone, honestly, even if it feels overwhelming to start with.
Yeah. All right. Well, Heather, thank you so much. There's contact info. We'll send you a recording out here in about a day and the other materials. So reach out to Heather. She's here to help you guys. And as always, thanks for joining us today. Thank you, Janet, for running everything for us.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Really enjoyed that.
Thanks for having me. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So we'll see you on the next Toolkit Tuesday. So join us next week and we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.